Everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with here today with an article from The Federalist. It is dated June 6th, and it says, Republicans' refusal to wield power destroyed conservatism and maybe the country. And a picture of J.D. Vance here. So it says, Democrats play to win while far too many Republicans aren't even playing the game. Yeah, and I think this is after the whole Trump verdict came out. A lot of Republicans, or I should say people that would identify as being on the right, were saying something needs to be done. Like, go after Democrats the same way that they're coming after you. And just as of when I'm recording this, which is just a few days. When was this again? June 6th. I'm just recording this a few days later. Like, nothing's happened. Okay? Something needs to. Says in the 1940 novel, You Can't Go Home Again, author Thomas Wolfe illustrates the futility of attempting to relive or return to past experiences or situations because people and places inevitably change over time. This is the situation America finds itself in at present after a New York jury convicted former President Donald Trump on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records, making Trump the first former American president to be convicted of felony crimes. Whether Trump receives prison time, probation, or ultimately wins an appeal, there is no coming back from this unprecedented moment in American history. We can't go home again. However, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Coming to terms with the truth can be liberating. By acknowledging reality, the right can finally move forward and begin to fight back. Show me the man and I'll show you the crime, begged Lavrentiy Beria, the most ruthless and longest-serving secret police chief under Joseph Stalin. And I'd go and look up this guy. And I mean, this line here is a very, very, very concise description of him, but what he did was so much worse. Probably one of the worst human beings in the history of mankind, and that's not an exaggeration. This is in a similar Soviet-inspired fashion. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg contorted the law to get his man. The Trump conviction comes after years of suffering through never-ending protests, beginning on Trump's inauguration day in 2016, the Mueller investigation and Russia collusion hoax, George Floyd riots, 2 impeachments, a faux insurrection, an administrative deep state that attempted to stymie Trump's agenda at every turn, and the election fortification of 2020, leftist political lawfare has reached its apex. So it's no longer a constitutional republic. One such reality the right must recognize that is no longer fighting to preserve the constitutional republic of 1789. In fact, the United States has undergone fundamental transformations numerous times throughout its history. Long before Barack Obama famously told a crowd in Columbia, Missouri, we are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. And congratulations, Barack, you did, but just in a very, very bad way. So this is astute political commentators such as Curtis Yarvin, Orrin McIntyre, and Wade Stotts have each explained that America is not one continuous, unbroken political entity since its founding in 1776, but rather it has experienced significant refoundings throughout its almost 250-year history. While we can, and should, still honor and learn from our past, the truth is that the American Republic is over and has been for quite some time. Despite Benjamin Franklin's warning, we could not keep it. This is Rome's example. It's vital to understand that it was not the sacred parchment that failed to preserve the American Republic, but rather the people. To understand why, we can look back to ancient Rome, which, for all its political, cultural, and military achievements, lacked a written constitution. The cohesive force that united all Romans and led to the Roman Republic's success lay in the unspoken norms of social and political behavior. For the most part, Romans relied on unwritten rules, traditions, and mutual expectations, collectively referred to as mos maiorum, meaning the way of the elders. However, as the Republic entered its decline, it was not Roman law that weakened, but the erosion of respect for these mutually accepted bonds. Once these bonds disintegrate, as is the case with the present-day America, no amount of political poetry written on parchment will resurrect them. Well, it's well said. Wielding power. Contrary to proclamations of three-legged stool conservatives, obtaining and wielding power in pursuit of your political interests now matters most. Frankly, it always has. Thinking otherwise has brought conservatism to the brink of annihilation and what remains of our country to the edge of extinction. One recent example of this self-defeating mindset comes from Jonah Goldberg, editor-in-chief of The Dispatch. In response to a post on X that called for conservatives to dispense with the arguments that the GOP shouldn't do something because it might set a bad precedent, Goldberg replied, "Weird version of conservatism that is wholly, completely, and preemptively dismissive of the dangers of bad precedents." Meanwhile, President Joe Biden unashamedly posted that no one is above the law in reference to Trump's conviction, after openly bragging about how he didn't let the Supreme Court stop him from reliving student debt for more than 5 million Americans. So Joe Biden says no one's above the law, but thinks he is. That's what that's saying. Says, imagine if the roles were reversed, cries the principled conservative after he learns that the FBI was prepared to use deadly force during an armed raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. It's important not to set a bad precedent. say the gatekeepers within Conservative Inc., even when Biden's primary political opponent is on the verge of being imprisoned after being subjected to a Soviet-style show trial. The naivete from this sort of conservatives is laughable. This is a loser mentality, which is why the right continues to lose. Thankfully, conservatives such as Senators J.D. Vance and Mike Lee provide a way forward, finally signaling they are ready to go on offense. Before Trump's conviction, Vance called on the Department of Justice to open a criminal investigation into presiding Judge Juan Merchan for illegally depriving Trump of his First Amendment rights. And after Trump's guilty verdict, Lee issued a statement signed by 7 other Republicans that said strongly worded statements are not enough. Those who turned our judicial system into a political cudgel must be held accountable. We are no longer cooperating with any Democrat legislative priorities or nominations, and we invite all concerned senators to join our stand. So, but this seems still more. I like both these guys, J.D. Vance and Mike Lee, a lot. But like, you gotta do more than that. Like, we need action, not just words. Is basically what I'm saying. It says, as John Daniel Davidson, a senior editor at the Federalist, rightly stated about today's GOP, either you're willing to jail Democrats on the same terms they're using to jail Trump, or you're merely controlled opposition. Perfectly said. As Democrats play to win, while far too many Republicans aren't even playing the game. While we can't return to the past, there is still time for the right to move forward aggressively in its battle to shape America's future. And, this is Adam Johnston. Oh, Wrong Speak Publishing. That's, what's his face? Man, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name. Okay, I saw that, and I was just like, wait, Adam John, because that dude who does Wrong Speak, I'm pretty sure is named Adam too. I could be wrong. Probably am wrong. But anyway, it's enough blabbering about me. So what do you guys think? Do you think Republicans should be doing to Democrats what is being done to them, or do you think that they should just kind of sit on their hands and not do anything? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.